It's a new week at the House of Tiny Tearaways.
Just get it on. It's very hard as a parent not to be able to feed your child.
It's the start of a new week at the House of Tiny Tearaways. 3 more families in desperate need of help. 3 new sets of parenting problems to be tackled by Dr Tanya Byron. 3 desperate families, each overwhelmed by parenting problems that have turned their toddlers into tearaways. They're going to be living here for just 6 days in the hope that they can turn their lives around forever. The person they're going to look to for the answers is clinical psychologist Dr Tanya Byron.
Working with 3 families in such an intense environment is unlike anything I've ever done professionally before, and it is a huge challenge. I'm working with the parents, I'm working with their children, and I'm building a community. It's a tough job to do in a very, very short space of time.
The house itself has been built under the supervision of childcare experts to ensure that it's both a fun and safe place for kids. The house also recreates a realistic home environment to allow Tanya to observe the families behaving as naturally as possible. The remote cameras and those located behind 2-way mirrors provide an unobtrusive way to see the pitfalls and progress.
She's a very good girl.
The tantrums and the tears.
You like your babies around you, don't you? Yeah.
24 hours a day. With just 6 days to solve their problems, Tanya's got her work cut out. And for the families selected to be a part of this unique programme, this is make or break. This is the House of Tiny Tearaways, and this is the first family of the week, the Carrolls. Liverpool mum Claire Carroll is struggling to control her son Callum, who is nearly 3.
And the problem with Callum is he's got a terrible temper, and when he doesn't get his own way, he throws a temper tantrum, and he cries all the time at most things. He smack and hit and pinch, but now it's whinging and crying all the time. Why? Stay off. Please. Sometimes I would go, he's not my little boy, because he'd turn around and smack someone who doesn't know him, and I'm ashamed of that. Callum not on the road. Callum will not share with his cousin Jordan. Callum's 2, Jordan's 6. He doesn't let him touch anything. Get off the box then and put it away. I'm putting it away.
Callum's tantrums are not just reserved for the daytime. Evenings bring a new challenge for Claire.
Callum at bath time, he'll struggle to get his clothes off him, struggle to get his nappy off him, and when he's in there, he'll stand up, not want to be washed, want to get out the bath, try and get out the bath.
After a battle at bath time, the fight continues when Mum Claire has to get Callum into bed.
When I do put him in bed, even though you can tell he's absolutely knackered, yeah, I'll put him in bed, and he will not stay in that bed. No, lie down. You're going down. Oh. Come on, get in bed, please. Come here. I'll sit here sometimes when he goes to bed and think, I can't do it, I just can't deal with it anymore. You naughty, Papa.
Oh, no.
Wow.
As Claire and Callum explore their new home, Tanya watches from her office. The first day in the House of Tiny Tearaways is Observation Day, a chance for Tanya to watch each family closely to find out where the root of their problems lie.
Wow. Oh.
It's vital for Tanya to witness the problem behaviour as soon as possible so that she can begin to plan the treatment. Today she's placed some toy cars in the house in the hope that this will trigger Callum's demanding behaviour.
I don't think you can have it yet. I've got to wait for the pizza, yeah? I have to wait, Callum, in 1 minute. Look, see that? Hey. Why? They're not yours, Callum. No. Right, I'm leaving now, not yours.
Oh dear.
I meet Tanya to get her first impressions. Well, the first family had just arrived, the Carrolls, sole parent mum, Claire, and son, Callum. She has a real tantrum-throwing child on her hands.
It is full on. In a rather mean and cruel way, I put in a trigger for a tantrum, which is a lot of toy cars. He loves toy cars, with a sign saying do not touch, so it looks like it's an ornament. And he did have a bit of a sort of moment about not being able to touch them, looking very tired, very cross, very grumpy. Lots of things I'm thinking about this child, but the principal thing to say is he's 2 years, 10 months. He's not even 3 yet. He's huge. He's a very big boy. He looks like a 4-year-old, 4.5-year-old. Children who are very big for their age, the expectations that others have of their behaviour is often for older than they are. So we have to remember that actually he is in the age group where children do have tantrums. Developmentally, that's quite normal. I tell you what I find fascinating already is the dynamic between him and his mother. She is very anxious of him and she basically sits and waits for the next problem.
Don't smack me, please. I'm not talking to you when you smack me. No, I'm not talking to you when you smack me. I'm gonna look at the fish by herself.
Having monitored Callum's behaviour for the past 30 minutes, Tanya meets mum Claire for the first time.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, all right.
Hello.
I'll say hi, yeah.
How are you?
All right.
Nice to meet you. And who's this? Hello? What's that? What is it? Hey, Callum, look here. What's that? What's that called?
Is it fishy?
Is it a clever boy? It's a fishy.
It's going for.
Let me listen. Say it again. Let me hear you. Take the towel. Let me hear you. Take your dummy out when you talk to me. Let me hear you.
What's his name, Callum? Say, look, Froggy. Froggy. Can I, Mummy, have a please?
Where's it gone?
It's gone.
Is that another one? Yeah. How many do you have on you?
I just have a few because he goes mad if, like,
All right.
I lose one or something.
Okay. Well, you look at the fish. Come and sit down with me. Let's have a chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, come and sit here. Come sit here with me. So you like the house?
Yeah.
Are you feeling quite nervous?
I am a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I can see. Yeah. You're nervous about his behaviour?
Yeah.
You're nervous that he's going to be bad in the house? It's important for us to keep telling ourselves that he isn't even 3 yet.
I know.
But he looks a whole lot older.
A lot of people look at him and think he's bigger and go about the dummy or that he's not really, doesn't have a full interactive conversation with you because he's younger. But he's going to be really tall.
He is, isn't he? He's a lovely little boy. He's a lovely little boy. Is he a lovely little boy?
He's lovely, like, a lot of the time. He'll be, like, dead affectionate and tells me he loves me.
Yeah.
Then he'll turn around and tell me I'm naughty.
When he has these big tantrums and things, what is the worst thing that he's ever done?
He smacked someone on the bus, smacked an old woman who tried to speak to him.
He smacked an old lady?
Yeah, smacked her on the hand, but don't talk to me, hit her with the car. I mean, I knew it would be hard, I knew, but you see other people with their... I mean, my nephew's the most perfect little boy in the world. He's asking him to do anything and he's so nice. And I said, then I get him, who's constantly demanding and wants my attention all the time.
As we see here now.
In a minute.
But why are you so frightened of your almost 3-year-old child?
I don't know, because I'd rather him not have a kick off than...
So you avoid situations because you don't want things to kick off? And you're by yourself? You've got no support?
Yeah, I mean, his dad's there, but he doesn't even like to go out with his dad.
Yeah.
And I think it's cause to get away with me. Because he wants to be... I keep saying to his dad, come and spend time with me. And he won't. So he thinks that He doesn't want to go with us, Dad, because he's taking him away from me. I have to keep telling him that's what he's doing. In a minute. What minute? We can go out in a bit. In a bit. No, you've got to put your coat on. If you sit on the chair like a good boy. Look, Mummy's talking.
He's always pulling, always demanding, always crying, always having tantrums. You must be so exhausted.
I'm tired sometimes. I feel guilty sometimes. I don't know what. I'll be that tired because he's gone to bed really late and he doesn't seem to be tired ever. Look, Mummy's talking. We'll get our coats. Callum, come and get your coat. Just come get your coat and we'll go outside. Yeah, we'll go out the door.
Blimey.
It's clear that turning Callum's behaviour around in just 6 days is going to be a real challenge for Tanya. And it will only get tougher with the arrival of our second family, the Skeltons. Southampton is home to Fleur and Ian Skelton, their 6-year-old daughter Jasmine and 4.5-year-old son Bradley. Most of the time the house is peaceful, but every mealtime tempers flare.
The problem with Bradley is that he's not eaten proper food since he was about 2. Just after his 2nd birthday, he decided not to eat any fruit, vegetables or meat, or any what he calls proper food, because he gets the impression that he's going to be sick.
Bradley will actually go berserk, you know, when you try and give him a sandwich or anything that basically he doesn't want. He literally will he'll go mad, he'll scream, push the food away, and it's quite distressing really for us as a family.
Just have a little bit for me, Brad. Just have a little bit, you can, why not?
It makes me sick.
Why do you think it makes you sick, darling?
It does.
But why?
It does.
And he'd just put his hand up against his mouth and not try anything, and then he'd start crying and putting his arm up, and so he tries to hide his face. You're not hiding your face.
The Skeltons have tried every technique, but none have worked.
First of all, when Bradley refused his food, I was trying to force it, but I think that probably made him worse, so that didn't work. We've tried to put sweets in front of him, that if he has a mouthful of the proper food, he would get a sweet. Do you want me to take your pocket money away from you then? Should I?
Oh, no.
Should I take 5p away from your pocket money? Probably haven't really kept to any kind of technique, really, if I'm honest with myself.
I
hate seeing him like that. That's why I probably give in to him all the time, because I hate seeing him like it.
You want some crackers now? All right. We're giving in again, aren't we? You feel like you're bullying him, or you know, sort of, you don't want him to be like that. You know, wish he could be like you, don't we? Really.
Fleur works evenings as a carer, but leaving Bradley in this state is becoming increasingly heart-wrenching.
Go to work and leave him like this.
Papa food makes me sick.
I know, mate.
We're supposed to go. Oh my gosh. Wow,
look at this.
Like all of the families, the Skeltons are free to leave at any point, but Tanya is hoping that over the 6 days they'll put the necessary work in to treat their parenting problems and leave with a clear plan for the future.
Oh. Look! Come look at these alligators!
Alligators, mate? I hope not.
Them! Stop.
Oh, yeah. There's a little frog.
Well, the Skeltons have arrived. Bradley has surprised me. When you watch all those tapes of him, I mean, he throws real strops. I mean, there was one shot of him where he just throws the plate across the table. But in here, when he arrived, come on, how exciting. Seems quite a sort of happy little chap.
What fascinates me is when parents can manage to shape some of their children's behaviour, but then have this extraordinary problem. And you think, well, if you can do this, why can't you do that? I've noticed that she calls her son mate, actually.
Yeah, come on, mate. Here we go, mate.
Which
the dinosaur, mate.
Nothing wrong with calling your child mate at all. But I think when you have a child who won't eat, they should cease to be your mate and start to be a willful child who needs a parent to be assertive. So I'm kind of curious about that little relationship dynamic.
Like that, okay?
Mummy, I'm hungry. Could you get me some rice cakes and could you get me crackers and Marmite for my dinner, please? And rice cakes as well. And that's done. And that's done, Mummy. And drink. And that's all I want. Mummy, I don't need that bread. We don't need that bread, do we?
Whilst the children get to know each other, Tanya meets Fleur and Ian Skelton to explore the full extent of Bradley's eating problem.
Now, let's just, if I take things out, can you put them into a yes pile and a no pile, as in what he will and what he won't?
That's got to be really easy.
Right, so
That's a no.
that's broccoli. That's mince. That's a chicken. That's leeks. And sweet corn on the cob. So this is all no, isn't it? Yeah. Coleslaw. Spring onions. Tomatoes. No. No. Okay. Cheese. No. Milk. This is all no. Yogurt.
That's it. That is it.
Oh wow. Okay. So this is a yogurt in the yes pile, and this is all no.
All no's.
And Jasmine, could we just shift all of this over for Jasmine, could we?
The only thing that she probably wouldn't have would be, she doesn't like tomatoes. She kind of eats spring onions. She may or may not eat those and she wouldn't have that.
So she'll do chicken, she'll do broccoli, she'll do cheese, she'll do sweet corn, she'll do milk, she'll do mince.
Yes.
Excellent, good girl. And a yogurt, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, and what would you eat, Fleur?
All of it.
You did all, and what would you eat?
I'm not. I'd eat. Yeah, I eat broccoli. What was that? Yeah. Is that chicken? Yeah. I don't like sweet corn.
So you wouldn't eat sweet corn?
I don't like coleslaw. Don't like tomatoes. Don't like whatever that is.
You don't like those? Okay.
No.
Leeks?
Nah, not really.
Watercress?
No.
Yogurt?
Occasionally, I was not one of my. I would eat it.
Right. So you'll eat this?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's my problem? Who's my problem in Brad? Just Brad, with food. No one else.
Looking at me.
Just a question mark in my head.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest eater, but I mean, there is other greens. I'll eat peas, carrots. I can't imagine getting all the tomato, just eating a tomato. I'd feel sick.
Would you? Right, now, what I'm going to ask you to do is to cook a meal that you know he won't eat. The reason for that is I have to see the problem. I know that sounds really mean, but if I don't see the problem, if you just give him what he will eat, then I've got nothing I can do. I need to see how you react around him, how he reacts around, and don't do anything other than what you would normally do, okay? I'm not asking you to impress me, all I'm asking you to do is to show me.
And you want us all sat down?
I want to see you all eat, please.
All eat. Right. Ready?
It's clear that Tanya's got plenty of work ahead of her, but there's still one more family to arrive, the Westons.
See, I said there's some more people coming in. Hi.
Down you go.
Hi. Hi, Alan. I'm Fleur.
Hi, Fleur.
This is my husband, Ian. Jasmine and Bradley.
Parents Helen and Sean Weston from Gloucester have their hands full with their tantrum-throwing 3-year-old Tallulah, who is causing heartache by rejecting her mum.
She's got a problem with anybody else dealing with her, and she tends to like Sean to do everything for her.
It's got to be me, nobody else. And she gets I'd describe it as hysterical, wouldn't you?
Yeah, very.
Daddy's girl Tallulah does nothing to disguise the fact that Sean is her favourite parent.
It's going to land in the yogurt. Well, let's do your nose quick.
It's all right.
Good girl. There, it wasn't long.
Oh, Tallulah, look, that's just being silly. Let me sit here.
She's good, everything.
I can sit next to you, can I?
Oh, why can't I? Can I sit next to you?
No, why doesn't Mummy sit next to you today?
I don't like Mummy.
You do like Mummy. You love Mummy.
I don't.
Oh, I'm upset now.
As well as Tallulah, Helen and Sean also have a 1-year-old son, Taro, who struggles to get a look in with his sister hogging the limelight.
Now we've got Taro. You want to spend time with Taro as well, don't you?
I've got 20 now.
With 9 children between them from previous marriages, they thought they'd seen it all, but nothing could have prepared them for Tallulah.
We've never needed help with any of our kids, have we, over the years? This is something different. Neither of us have experienced this, have we?
No. Come on, it's all right. Mummy just pop you in. Come on, quick.
I don't like it.
Come on, it's all right. We'll just go.
Tallulah's constant rejection is beginning to wear Helen down.
Do you want a bowl? It's a bowl. Daddy's putting Taro to bed. Mummy's going to put you to bed, so...
No! What's nothing to do with me?
Come on, Mummy's going to bed.
No!
Come on, she's going She seems to scream more and more, actually. And quite often I just walk out and leave her until Sean's available. And then he comes in and takes over. Well, what do you want then? You don't want to sing anything?
Hot top buns.
Hot cross buns. Hot cross buns.
Little buns.
1 a penny, 2 a penny. Hot cross buns. No daughters, give them to your sons.
It's 2 orange ones.
Pardon?
It's 2 orange ones.
2 orange bears.
Well, the third and final family have arrived, the Westons. Helen and Sean and their children, Tallulah, who's 3, and son Taro, who's just over 1. Now, from watching everything, I thought Tallulah wouldn't go anywhere near her mother, but so far, they've seemed all right. What do you think from your observations?
Where's the problem? Where's the problem? Where is the problem? However, saying that, it's all very new, you know, lots of things to explore. So I think with this family, with this one, it's much more subtle because it's about relationships, and so relationship problems will only bubble up given the right context and the right environment and the right setting. And at the moment, this is all so new that obviously I have to just sit back and wait and see.
Are you quite pleased that you haven't seen the problem, or does it worry you?
My job is to solve the problems, and the sooner I see them, you know, the quicker I can start thinking about what to do. I just hope that we've seen something by bedtime tonight, really.
Following Tanya's earlier advice, the Skeltons have prepared Bradley a plate of food he wouldn't usually eat for lunch.
Is that blackcurrant?
Yes. I can't find any orange squash, mate.
Oh, I don't want to
why don't, mate? Here you go, mate. Here, mate.
I don't want proper food.
But it's so colourful, mate, isn't it?
You're using everything, didn't you?
I don't want
Yeah, look, come on, mate. Come on, no, come on. Come on, mate, please.
Mate, just trying a little bit of chicken. Just a little bit of chicken.
Yeah? What about if Daddy tries a bit of some... I don't like some of this. If Daddy tries a bit of that, will you try a bit?
No.
Why not?
Because I don't like it.
Yeah, this... Callum, mate, please.
I don't want to eat it.
Why not?
Just a wee bit, mate.
Daddy try a bit of this dreaded tomato.
Do
Yeah?
it.
Oh, God.
Just
Try that for me, would you?
I don't want proper food. I don't like it. I want potato food. Because big boys don't like proper food.
That's a blue.
Tanya joins the family to see just how extreme the problem is.
You're doing very well. What are you eating? A tree.
Eating anything.
You're eating a broccoli. And Mummy's eating it. And whose is this plate?
Browsers. I don't want to have it.
You're not going to have that? Why not?
It makes me sick.
Makes you sick? How do you know it makes you sick?
Because it do.
Brad, please eat a bit for me. Can you? Just a little bit.
Let's put them back down on the table.
The chicken's nice, mate. Just a little bit of the chicken, Brad. Just a little bit.
Hang on. No.
Brad, just a little bit.
Right. Sit back down a minute. Sit back down a minute. Sit back down a minute.
What I'd like to see now is if you could just eat and just ignore him. Just let him sit here. But if you guys could just eat, just get up. If you finish your lunch and just leave this here, he's all right.
See, what we'll probably end up doing is leaving him a few minutes, and then it'll just be like that. So we'll give him
his
easy
stuff that he does.
for a bit. I mean, to me, he's just getting so distressed, and he'll just carry on like that. Before we first picked him up, and he got to the stage where he's trying to kick her in the stomach, and he's never does. No, he's not like that really. He's trying to put food in the bin, or like he's anywhere but near him. So I just feel it's not worth pushing him any more than that really.
Right, no, I understand.
If you see what I mean, you know.
No,
when I'll do
I
it,
do
if you
understand.
tell me to do it, I'll do it.
No,
if he's
no,
gonna he's
no.
quite distressed.
Yes, absolutely. No. Is that very sad? Does that make you very sad, sweetie? Yes.
After witnessing Ian and Fleur's attempts at making Bradley eat, Tanya decides to have a go herself to see just how stubborn Bradley really is.
What does that smell like? Smell it. I've never smelt poo that smells like that. Smell it. Big sniff. What do you think?
Oh, that's disgusting.
What does this smell like? This smells like nothing, Lou. It smells like water.
It smells like poo.
Have you ever felt it against your skin? It's wet. Feel?
Oh, it is really wet.
Yeah. Shall I put it on your chin? I'll give you a little cucumber chin. Hello. What I want you to do now with this cucumber, because this cucumber is just whispering me something.
I've got to eat your dinner.
I really love Bradley, says this cucumber. He's so nice. Oh, really? He wants you to give it a kiss. Will you kiss the cucumber, please? Otherwise it's going to cry. And I hate making cucumbers cry. Give it a kiss. Good boy. Good boy.
Well done, mate.
I'll give it a kiss. Dad's going to give it a kiss. Bradley, give it a kiss. I give it a kiss. You give it a kiss. I give it... Oh! I'm eating it. I ate it, and now it's really crying, because listen what I'm doing. I'm crunching it.
It's good, really.
OK, now I want you to eat just that one bit for me. And I'll give you a big clap. How about then this? Because you kissed this. Little bit of this. Just for me. Go on.
I'm not going to eat it.
Will you eat some tomato, Daddy?
Right now?
I'll have to sit. Thanks,
Are we allowed to put
Oh, what's Daddy eating?
Yeah, what is
Daddy's
Daddy?
eating an eyeball.
Mummy?
No.
I've
Don't like it.
had it.
That's what I mean, I will try it, but I don't.
Can you put a whole one in your mouth?
Oh, God, no.
Go on, try, please.
Oh, Jesus.
Are you allowed to play the cards now?
Yes, when you've finished your lunch.
Yes. Are we allowed to play them on the road? Are we allowed to play them on the road?
Out there, yes, darling.
Are we allowed to play with them on the road? I've eaten a bit.
If I'd given you a slug to eat, it would have been more pleasurable, wouldn't it?
Didn't really like that.
That's a dead slug.
Mind you saying that, he doesn't see me do that.
Did. They see more than we think.
It's a new week at the House of Tiny Tearaways, which means 3 new sets of parenting problems for Dr Tanya Byron. Single parent Claire Carroll is struggling with her son Callum, who's almost 3. She's desperate to put an end to his constant tantrums and demanding behaviour. 4.5-year-old Bradley Skelton has not had a proper meal for 2 years. Parents Ian and Fleur are frantic with worry about his severely restricted diet.
I don't want to eat it.
Sean and Helen Weston have 9 children between them, but 3-year-old daddy's girl Tallulah is causing frustration and heartbreak with her constant rejection of mum. Still to come.
Everything. I just want them to be really happy and gorgeous and lovely, because I never felt like that when I was growing up.
With the Westons now settled in, Tanya joins Helen and Sean on the sofa.
So I'm looking at your 2 beautiful children, who are beautiful, beautiful children, and I can't quite see anything. So I thought probably the best thing to do would be to come out and ask you why you want to be here, why you both decided to do this, because it's a very brave thing to do.
Because life was getting horrendous at home. We couldn't do anything together really, could we? Because it was almost like Tallulah, I suppose I'm going to say sides with Sean, but wants Sean to do everything for her. although she's allowed me to wipe her nose and everything this afternoon, and she's hugged my face. And we've just stopped going out. We've really accustomed our life to Tallulah.
Why won't you go out?
Because it's just horrendous when we go. She kicks off, and when she kicks off, she doesn't stop. So we just kind of don't do anything together anymore as a family unit. When he's there, I can't bath her. I cannot put her to bed.
Because?
She wants him to do it.
And how does that feel for you?
Just accept it. That's the way she is. But other weeks, it's quite hurtful. Because she sat there yesterday morning and said that she liked everybody in the house but me.
She said that?
Yeah, oh yeah. She says things like, I don't like you, I like you to do it, and I don't like me. And
does she like you, do you think?
I don't think she does, no. She doesn't, no.
You don't think your own daughter likes you?
She's on a one-to-one, she's fine. She's great, I don't have a problem. But when Sean's there, she favours Sean and she makes that obvious.
That must be so hard.
When it first started, and it was kind of, oh, Sean can do it, great. Everybody thought it was great, you know, I'm getting time out. And, but now it's gone beyond the joke sort of thing, and it's not a joke anymore, and it's not funny anymore.
Go on and move up.
So I'm hearing about Tallulah's big love for you.
I'd say she seems a bit obsessed. Is that a description?
Obsessed with you?
Yeah.
In what way?
In that I have to do everything for her.
And how come you've kind of let this happen, do you think?
I suppose I've always been hands-on when I've been around anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like just maybe developed from that, and it's got more where it's only my hands-on now.
Yeah.
So.
But you won't let her scream and scream. You won't ignore her and just let her get on with it.
He will to a certain degree.
I will to a degree, yeah.
When's your breaking point, would you say?
Probably when she's been hysterical for a long time, and it seems pointless at that point.
That's fine, because I've got to try and work out in my mind what you both want and how far I can push you. Because I can be very hardcore, but it's whether or not you give me that permission or you're not sure, and we have to negotiate that.
If hardcore is what's needed, then hardcore it is.
Is hardcore
we're
needed,
here to
Sean?
fix it,
Is
so-
hardcore needed?
It is.
I know you think it is, but
I think
is
it
it
is.
needed?
Depends. I think it could be.
So another scenario... Well,
You didn't like that, did you?
No, I'm just getting to see this really soft dad who just does not want
Yeah,
to
I'm very
upset.
soppy, I guess. I'm a very...
He's very sensitive.
Tanya has asked the Westons to unpack in their bedroom. She wants Helen to get 3-year-old Tallulah to help her while Sean plays with her younger brother Taro. Tanya hopes that this will trigger Tallulah's clinginess to her father and give her an idea of what she needs to deal with over the next 6 days.
Put them in that one.
Another jumper.
I don't want none on that one.
Why not?
I don't want that one to play on that one.
Would you like to hang the jumper up, please? Use your hand.
This is a really neat car. You're gonna go...
Have you finished now, have you?
How my board jumping?
You're going to come and help me do the
you
other
better
things?
finish your unpacking with Mummy first.
I done it.
Come and do some more with
Mummy
me.
hasn't finished, Lula. You're going to help Mummy finish?
No.
Come and do the big suitcase with me. Come and help me do the big suitcase. Come on, we're going to do the big suit. We've got all Tara's things to put away. Come and help me do Tara's things.
No.
Go on, just go through your stuff again, Tilly, make sure it's all in the right place.
Come on, please. I need your help.
There we go.
Look at this big, heavy suitcase.
Here we go.
Come on, help me, please. You've got all Daddy's things and all Taro's things. Come on, put them in the rooms. Come and help me. You take these.
Help Mummy put Tara's
Go on, put these in
away.
Tara's room for me, please.
Go on.
No.
Come on. We'll play later. Come on, that's a good girl.
Tanya asks Helen and Sean to swap places to see what effect this will have on Tallulah.
Shall we go in?
Hello.
In case, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a spare sheet. Shall we go get some more things out of the suitcase? You can come back and help me, though. Come back and help me, then. Do you want to carry these too? Thank you.
I'm carrying them to the...
Good girl. More of Taro's things.
Yeah.
Let's put those on the bed. Put the bibs on the bed. There's some more bibs for the bed. Do you want to put those on the bed? Oh, wow. All right, and you're taking all those?
Yeah.
She's perfect little unpacking monitor now, isn't she?
Yeah. But I put in that one.
Yeah, okay, if it'll go in. Hello, little fella.
While the Skelton children are being read a story by Sean Weston, their parents Fleur and Ian join Tanya for a consultation.
What is it about food and Bradley that is such a massive issue? Why do you think he has this problem with food?
I haven't got a clue. I think it's a phobia.
Right.
Because he's petrified of it.
When I was, I don't know how old, but I didn't eat very well. And like I say, I can remember sitting there looking at, they said, right, you sit there, and I'll be sitting there looking at me, then it'd just go cold. I know I wasn't going to eat that. The more they go on at me, the less likely I was to do it. And I can see that in him.
So do you think,
he'd sit there all day.
Do you think you're part of the problem? Do you think you're the cause of the problem?
Not necessarily saying that. He's got that maybe stubbornness in him that he's not going to do it.
Now, you've just said stubborn. You said phobia.
Yes.
A phobia is an exaggerated and irrational anxiety response to something that you don't need to be anxious of. So in your head, one of your thoughts is, does our son have a phobia towards food, towards new foods? So that takes us down a road that says anxiety.
Yes.
He's anxious.
Yes.
But then you've said to me the word stubborn, which then takes me down a different road, which
Maybe it's a bit
says
of both.
defiant, willful, used to getting his own way. Which do you think it is?
He looks scared of it.
So
to me.
you think it's more anxiety? You think it's more
Anxiety.
right?
Yeah. I think it is. Yeah.
Right.
He looks scared.
Because he's got it in his head that he's got to be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if we keep forcing him, he'll look anywhere rather than at what he's supposed to be doing. Then he'll try and get away. He'll push it away. He even tried to put it in the bin once.
Makes you feel sad to think about it. And this is all tied up with the feelings that you have when he's sitting next to you sobbing. It's such an emotional thing for you, isn't it? Oh, sweetheart. Tell me about it. It's very hard as a parent not to be able to feed your child. It's very hard. Because it makes you feel what?
That I'm torturing him.
If you make him. But what do you feel as a parent, the fact that he doesn't eat very much? How do you feel about yourself as a mother in terms of his feeding?
I must be doing a very good job at it.
I think feeding is a very primitive
I don't think it's feed, it's everything.
Eat.
I just want them to be really happy and gorgeous and lovely, because I never felt like that when I was growing up.
You never felt happy and gorgeous?
So I try to overcompensate for them.
Right. So really you will do whatever you can for them not to get distressed? So what if they're bad, if they have tantrums? How have you managed that then?
I can be quite strict with them.
Yeah.
But not when they're sobbing their hearts out.
Right.
Quite hard.
When I meet a child like Bradley, who is totally gorgeous, my question is, why?
Yeah.
Why? And this is what I've been asking myself all day, because sitting with him at the table, he changed. From the minute you got the cutlery out, he changed. No, you sit there. No, he sit. No, she sit. No, very controlling, very demanding, in charge.
Yes. Yeah.
To the point that his sister was completely sidelined. To the point that the only way his sister could get your attention was by not eating anymore. She stopped eating.
I don't want that.
Which is quite a concern for me.
Yeah, because she's going to go off it.
She's quite slim, and she's a girl, and we do not want her to associate food with the only way I'm going to get any attention from the two of them is to not eat. But neither of your children look like they're starving to death to me. One of your children has a problem with eating, and you've just given him 2 massive rice cakes.
That's what
See, that's another thing I've noticed, which you probably not be happy about, but sort of when I cleaned the car out the other day, there's just sweet wrappers and crisp wrappers all over the place. So unless you're eating all that, they are.
Do you let them just have snacks and things throughout the day and graze? And if they sound hungry, Mummy, will you give them a packet of crisps or a rice cake?
Yeah.
And you do?
Yeah, but I mean, so I'm only there on the weekends, so sort of... I
probably do.
Are you cross?
Well, yeah, I didn't know she'd done that.
Are you cross? Are you irritated?
Well, it's not very bright, is it?
Are you irritated that he's just said that to you?
A little bit, because he'd probably do the same himself at weekends.
I'm talking about here now. We just said we're
No, but if we were at home,
we're trying to
if we were
leave them a
at
gap when they're
home,
not eating.
then you would probably do the same. You get them a
if it was
packet of crisps out,
yeah,
or you get them a rice
not saying,
cake
yeah,
out.
I'm there on a Saturday.
Because you know what
and
it's
he's
like
going,
when
you
it's
want some
going
toast,
on
you
and
want
on
some
and
crisps? So yeah, Brad, have that. So yeah, I do the same thing, but that's on a Saturday. See what
Why
I
is
mean?
that different?
Just
I'm
sort of
going to
like-
have to be incredibly direct and incredibly tough, so you're going to have to forgive me, okay? But I think I just heard you say to your wife, I want there to be good boundaries around eating. I don't want our kids to snack, but I'll do it on Saturday because it's the weekend. So actually, I wonder whether you're also quite anxious about enforcing these boundaries, but you expect your wife to do it, and you found a convenient way of saying, well, I don't have to because it's Saturday. But actually, if you were there during the week, would you be able to do it?
Well, I am there in the evening, aren't I? I'll be honest, compared to you, I don't give them that many sweets, do I? I bought them some Smarties the other day. Can you put it? No,
You do.
I'm not digging a hole, just trying to explain.
Can I say,
Yeah,
as a psychologist, I feel tension in this room.
there is.
I mean, we're smiling because we're all new and we've all just met each other, but actually, it feels like, I couldn't eat in that environment. No wonder he can't eat.
Exactly.
It's like, and then the two of you sometimes maybe glaring at each other across the table.
Yes, well,
Not
yes,
happy.
comments
You
might
snacked
be
him,
made.
yeah, but you snacked him, but I snacked him last Saturday, you snacked him yesterday.
There is a lot of that.
So in your relationship, do you spend more time agreeing or disagreeing?
Disagreeing.
Yeah, disagreeing, I would say. But we don't spend much time together,
Arguing
really.
or cuddling?
We
really
don't
do that
argue, we
much.
bicker.
Bickering or
we
cuddling?
never have blazing rows.
No, but you know, it seems to me that the girl that you married is actually exhausted and very sad and just wants to put her head between her hands and cry and cry and cry and cry.
I mind doing it myself. Yeah, so it's...
No, I don't want you to feel like that, do I?
Nah.
Mum, I want to have my bedtime food, please.
Who's the boss?
I am.
Who's the boss?
I am.
Mummy is the boss.
While Callum plays with Helen and Taro, Tanya asks Mum Claire to join her in the quiet room.
How do you think you've got yourself into this situation?
I don't know, but like, the way I've done things with him, I sometimes think it's my fault, and sometimes I think it can't be all my fault. But I know if someone said to me, like, this is why he's doing this, Claire, and I thought, well, it's my fault, then I'd have to fix that, and that's what I need someone to tell me, is it me, or is it him as well?
But it makes you really sad to think that you've done that.
Yeah.
Why?
Because for me, it wouldn't be like that if it had been better, I don't know.
Oh, sweetheart, here.
It's like I didn't really know what being a mum was, because I didn't really told you that. I didn't tell anyone that was having Callum until like the day I went in.
Nobody knew you were going to have a baby. Why didn't you tell anybody?
Because I didn't find out until about 6 months. At the time, I thought, like, I'm young, free and single, and I'm like, I just put it, it's like it wasn't real, it wasn't happening for the last 3 months, and clothes-wise, I hid everything.
So you just hid it with big clothes?
But it goes in, and as him, and I thought straight away, I don't want him. I can't have a kid. My sister walked in, and you and Kevin will have to have him. I can't have a baby that I didn't know was coming, but I denied that was coming. And as soon as I had him, I thought, no, he's mad, I love him. You say you feel that love, and it really is. I'm so made up, and it goes home. I had nothing about nothing. And someone said to me, this little psychologist, he said, maybe because you didn't have a lot of time acknowledging it when he was inside you, I just used to keep him there, like it was me bump still on the outside.
I think that's probably right.
And I don't know, I've just tried to keep him dead close, but now I think he needs to, like, you say, like, Theodore to move away, but give me a bit of space. And maybe it's my fault for trying to keep him, like, he's mine. I don't need any help off anybody, but I really do.
You're so worried, aren't you? Yeah. And so tired.
That he's going to carry on. Like being, I don't know, I just think I say he's a horrible kid. And my nephew's not, my brother got loved him and I never. I got like a nasty little one.
Say that again,
my brother got a lovely little boy and I never. I got like, so I don't know, it's like, I think I didn't tell anyone, I kept it all a secret, and now this is like, giving me like hell.
So this is like your punishment, you mean?
Yeah.
Your punishment for telling nobody that you were pregnant?
Yeah.
So his entry into the world has been surrounded by secrecy, shame, guilt, denial, unhappiness.
Yeah.
And then he came out and you felt this overwhelming love for him.
Yeah, and I seemed to give him everything. Just give him, like...
Do you think that's because you feel so guilty about the pregnancy?
I think so.
It's not rocket science. It's quite obvious to me what's going on. But actually, what I need to do is to help you feel strong and positive. And so
I'm the mum and I'm in charge.
You're the mum. But you see, even talking to you about this, your face changes. You start, your cheeks have gone a bit pink. You look like, yeah, I can do this. I know you can do this.
I really want to do it.
But he will give you a massive, massive fuss. He will cry, he will scream, he will pull your head round, he will do all those things, and we will just have to keep working.
Yeah.
It's dinner time in the House of Tiny Tearaways. Earlier, 4.5-year-old Bradley Skelton refused to eat his lunch, but motivated from their first consultation with Tanya and desperate to get their son to eat more than dry crackers, Ian and Fleur are trying again with a serving of shepherd's pie.
I want something else.
No, if you're not going to have that, you're not having anything else.
Anyway, I'm going to make some more food and you wait for me. Well, you're not allowed in the kitchen.
Right, just leave him just...
Yeah, Jazz, let Mummy and Daddy deal with it, okay?
Anyway, I'm going to climb in the kitchen.
Because you had
I am.
That was
bananas
quite
and
a big
something else. What do you want on that, okay? Let you off.
Slap wristers for me. Letting us snack. That's what I
Because
thought.
she was standing there, like, wasn't she saying,
So, Tanya, what are you seeing here now?
Well, what a difference a consultation can make. Very different. We're now at supper time, very different to lunchtime. He was presented with a plate of food he didn't want. I don't want proper food. Went round to his mother, cry. She ignored him, trying to pay lots of attention to Jasmine. Ian, Dad, was like, this is what you have to eat, or that's it. So now he stopped and he's now crawled onto the work surface and he's saying, I'm going to go in. And they're going, don't do it. And he's
really naughty, isn't he?
Well, he's pretty willful and defiant around food.
Listen, you need to eat some proper food, okay? Come and sit at the table and have some proper food. Come on, come here. Come and give me a cuddle. It's not going to be horrible to you. Come here.
Don't threaten. If you're going to do it, do it. If you say you're going to do it, do it. Don't negotiate. He's now negotiating with his child.
And he's sort of explaining it to him. Bradley is 4.5. Is he understanding what his dad's saying to him?
Well, I think he is understanding. He's old enough to understand, but he's also old enough to see that he's got Daddy away from the table to him, so he's still very powerful.
Just put your finger in it, that's it. Right in, like that, and then just go like that. Just put it on like that. You said you would, mate.
yeah, and this.
Do it for me.
Callum.
Yeah, but just put it to your mouth.
What?
No.
Look how much he talks to him. You see, why on earth would a 4.5-year-old having a tantrum, being defiant and wanting to have control, want to have a chat with you and then go, do you know what? You're right. OK.
I'll tuck in.
Let's have it. I mean...
Brad, do you want to go and sit on the green settee over there? Because Mummy doesn't want to hear you crying. Would you like to go and sit over there nice and quietly while we finish our dinner, please?
So it's the evening of the first day. Let's talk about the families in turn. First up, the Carrolls. She seemed quite isolated today. Her son felt quite isolated, even though he should have been having a laugh with all the other children. Are you a bit worried about them?
She's very flat. She's very anxious. She's on her own. She's not used to being around other people outside her mother and her sister. She's really stressed and really unhappy, and you know, she needs a lot of support. She makes me want to just put my arms around her and cuddle her.
The Skeltons. You had quite a big consultation with them, it felt like. Did you feel as much tension as it looked like there was?
Yes, big tension. But why wouldn't you be tense if your child doesn't eat very much? But, you know, as ever, it's kind of quite hard to focus on behaviour problem because actually suddenly everything else comes out. Child not eating, I can understand why they give in because everything else is so stressful. Oh, whatever, quiet life, have your rice cakes.
The thing that really struck them is when you said that Jasmine got absolutely no attention and then stopped eating. And Mum Fleur immediately went, that can't happen. Did you see their behaviour towards Jasmine change in the evening meal?
I did, and I almost see it as much as a problem that Jasmine has got as much as Bradley has got.
Do you?
Well, I just think, you know, you don't want your daughter learning that she gets attention from not eating. It's not good learnt food behaviour for a girl. I don't think they've got an eating problem or a feeding problem. I think they've got behaviour problems around meal times.
Let's talk about the Westons. Tallulah and baby Taro arrived and you were like, this is all right. Tallulah's going with her mummy, mummy's putting her shoes on, sort of going with her dad, but it's all fine. And then
monster tantrum.
How do you think Mum dealt with it and how are you going to deal with this problem?
I think Mum tried, but, you know, I think there's only so much you can take when your child's saying, I don't want you, I don't want you, I don't want you, and you're kind of, she was quite worried about sort of manhandling her. But I just think she tries knowing that she's going to call Sean in and knowing that Sean will come in. There are so many different things to think about and the stories behind the behaviour are huge. And have I got time to hear the stories, work with the stories and work with the behaviours across the three families? I don't know.
It's nearing the end of observation day and it's bedtime for the children.
Come on, let's get on with it all.
After refusing his second meal of the day, Bradley Skelton goes to bed on an empty stomach. Tanya has joined Claire Carroll as she tries to settle son Callum. Bedtimes are a major flashpoint for Claire and her first night in the house is proving no different.
So this is exhausting for you every night.
Do this and then like try to come back and brush his teeth.
Is it teeth now?
I'll get him dressed first and do his teeth because...
Oh, can I watch teeth?
Yeah.
Get him dressed then and I'll watch teeth.
Alright. Me, right? Come on. Okay, come in here and get a tutu. In here.
What are we doing now? Teeth?
Yeah.
Do you mind coming and cleaning his teeth out on the bed? Do you mind? Just so I can have a really good look at it.
Leave it. All done, Tom. All done.
Things are just as bad for Helen Weston. Because her 3-year-old daughter Tallulah rejects her so strongly, it's usually Dad Sean who puts their daughter to bed. But tonight, Tanya has asked Helen to try and take charge.
Let's go and get your jams on. Go on, get your jams on. I'm sorry, but it's bedtime. Stop it. Let's do your nose.
I don't believe you. This is ridiculous. What a state to get into. Come here. I can't believe all that noise. That was just really pointless. Why don't you just let Mummy do you? We both take turns.
Do you know if they've got any books anyway?
That's what we'd like.
Not nice.
Back in the Carroll's bedroom, Claire struggles to settle Callum in his own bed. With Tanya's support, Claire manages to wait it out, and eventually Callum falls asleep.
Very stressful.
Oh.
So it's 24 hours.
I just feel like he cries all the time.
Well, he does quite a lot.
It's just dead sad. I'd rather just put him in bed with me.
But then how's he ever going to learn?
I'm never going to have a life.
You're never going to have a life. We'll sort this out.
Okay.
We'll sort this out.
Wash.
Tomorrow on the House of Tiny Tearaways.
Just one. It makes me sick.
No, it doesn't.
It does.